Leave it to Techo.
Yep.
Another job well executed.
Wow, I got robbed.
Yeah, for you, there's going to be certain planets that you're going to have items taken until you go defeat the boss on that planet.
It's
And
just Earth, so it's not too bad.
yeah, no. I
Easy
wouldn't
to
worry about
avoid, low level. Let's see if there's another one that's gonna pop up. Let's do a spy, I guess. I don't get robbed anymore. On
it. Someone did
Venus.
that. Okay, War Wizard left.
Yeah, he was trying to go back to Earth.
Yeah, no.
Sure, quit this one. I'm gonna go pee while you guys are picking a relic. Be right back.
Go.
You're near a fissure. The enemies are dropping reactant. The reactant is working on your relic. Find more. Tenno, be on the lookout for increased security measures. The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands.
Sorry, I left.
Ah, fuck. They're on me. That's really fun.
Excellent work. A clean extraction with no alarms. We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
Oh, I'm correct.
That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Right?
He's just wearing down the clock.
Oh, nice. Panther Prime. I don't have that.
And I don't have Pandera or Panthera.
Same.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Ah, I got robbed. He stole a mod. Fucker.
Spy one kind of sucked. I guess actually exterminate, even though I don't want to be on Earth, but whatever.
I was fine with that one.
Got some freaking goldfish, dude.
You what?
So I've got some freaking goldfish.
Oh, nice.
Goldfish are the heat.
The G4. I want to upgrade that one. Probably should have started to form a fucking building.
You what?
I probably should have started a forma to build.
Them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury?
Alright, kill everything so I can get my shit and leave.
A fissure. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics. They're dropping
That's the
reactant.
plan.
Use it to crack open a relic. Keep fighting. Look for more reactant.
Alright.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run.
Yee,
Another
relic
successful
crack, nice.
mission.
That was it.
Find extraction.
No.
That's it. You opened the relic.
Ooh, star.
Oh, another one.
Are you coming?
Two good ones.
Hmm. I don't have Pandora Prime, but I also don't have Vivara Prime. That's more rarer.
Mission complete. Excellent work,
Worth
Tenno.
just a little bit more.
It's 11:21. 11:21.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Didn't realize it was that late.
I saw it. I was like, I found a mine shaft. I'm like,
Well, I got time for one more, and then I'm gonna be getting off.
Oi.
Okay.
Oh no. Pick a relic.
Oh, you're gonna do that to me?
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
See, that's the shit I'm talking about, dude.
There's a misclick.
Well, things that never happens from you, Jordan, I would believe
There is a
that.
large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
I appreciate it, dude.
If we can avoid alerting them, this may be easier.
My level of trust with
Watch out. I'm detecting void fissures
a
nearby.
lot of things
Do you
is
have a matching relic?
almost
We all
zero.
know you mean me and Gary, dude. You might as well not beat around the bush and just fucking say it.
No, it's not even just you and Gary. There's a lot of fucking things that are causing me to lose trust in a lot of fucking people. It's not just you and Gary. It's not just Pixie. There's a lot of fucking people. There's a lot of fucking situations that are beyond just you and Gary. And if you think you're the only one, I'm sorry. You're the only one that you think I'm referring to when it comes to that. Or that group of people. As far as things that have happened immediately, yes. I don't trust you guys. Not even a little bit.
Don't worry, we don't trust you either.
And that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Well done. Now get to extraction.
Just don't assume things.
Hello.
Something fucking rockety.
Oh, that's right. I didn't get to choose a relic for this one.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Because I was trying to do something.
Yeah, only 3 minutes. I got time for one more. Okay.
You said one more?
Yeah.
What
Man.
exactly
Yeah,
do
that
you
one was
have
funny.
going on at 11:30?
Do what?
Let's do this quick. I'll at least try and make this somewhat fast so he can make his appointment deadline, whatever bullshit.
No, you know, I just have work tomorrow that I have to get up for and go do. And I can't exactly be falling asleep while running heavy equipment. It's no good.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed. Void fissures. You need
Oh, Jesus.
a fissure. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics. The enemies are dropping
hey.
reactant. Don't forget the reactant. You need more to open that relic. Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected you. You have broken their
Well, that was
ranks and
quick.
they're on the run. Another
That
successful
was
mission.
dummy quick.
Find extraction.
I
That's
couldn't
it.
jump in the open
You
door.
opened a relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Trey, have you checked to see if you have enough to make Hydroid Prime now?
I don't know.
He needs credit offerings from the Nightwave to then go buy 19s.
Tragic. Banshee Prime or Skindo Prime?
If you don't have Banshee, do that one.
Yeah.
I think Banshee is still
Another
vaulted.
job well executed.
See, I need 19 extract.
Yeah, the only way to get it is through the Nightwave.
But we're not doing night waves right now, so.
Nightwave is
Oh,
just
dang.
missions to be done while you're doing regular missions. The more relics, and I'd have the next 19 or the next one. Damn. Alright, I will see y'all later. Thank you for
Alright, dude.
running. Have a good night. Good to see you again, Jordan.
Yeah, man. It was fun playing.
Heck yeah, we'll run again sometime.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully you have a good day at work tomorrow. Hopefully none of your machines break terribly
Oh, let me die.
in a horrible fashion.
I hope
And,
not, because we had a dump truck.
Just
that-
enough so you don't have to work hard, but
Yeah,
not in a life-threatening manner.
Right. Like
Yeah,
I
had
hope
a-
you're I hope everything goes well tomorrow at work and you're able to, you know, continue to work hard on a daily basis to provide for, you know, I would say family.
Yeah, I hope it goes well, because today we had a dump truck that both the drop axles decided to brake on in the middle of driving it.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he was
So
fully
I
loaded.
would like to point out one thing. We're only one relic away from our weekly mission being done.
Do it! Run it! Roll it hot!
I'm 2. Oh, he already... Fuck it.
Actually, I'm 2 away because I missed that one last relic. Sorry, we're gonna have to do this 2 more times. At least you and I are, Jordan.
No, I'm gonna run. I need 2 more flow.
Oh.
I didn't realize I was that close.
Well, 2 can be, depending on the mission, it could be quick or it can be really slow.
There is
As
a
long as
large
it's
container of
exterminate,
clean
I'll be
remains
fine.
stationed here. Leave no one
Yeah.
standing.
I can exterminate a lot with myself.
Now all they do is make war.
Watch out. I'm detecting void fissures nearby. Do you have a matching relic? You found a fissure. Look out for reactant. They're dropping reactant. Use it to crack open a relic. Keep fighting. Look for more reactant. You're still
Well,
in the clear. No detection from enemy sensors.
Either way, I still hope everything goes well tomorrow. might be upset at you, and I might have a lack of trust in you, but I still care. Somewhat.
As do I.
Although that care is very quickly diminishing.
The relic
I still
has been
do
cracked
care.
open. Finish your mission to
How do I
find the
try
And-
that? What you don't
The
see.
enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
And I am grateful for a lot. And although it may not be blatantly obvious, me being grateful, I'm not one for making it blatantly obvious. I try to do things in ways that are passive. And it's like, oh, you did that. But it doesn't always go as planned.
Ooh. Do you want Octavia or Equinox?
I'm going with Octavia because I have the other.
I feel like I'm closer to Octavia than I am Equinox.
I own the others, that's why.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Big dog.
I will say the amount of effort that you've put into giving a damn is what I'm grateful for.
I'm glad you're grateful for it. Because it's been a lot.
And there are some things that I can't do.
Like give birth?
And there are some things that I may realize that I might be out of line with, but every now and then you gotta have a friend to vent to. And everyone understands that.
Yeah, just don't be venting lies. That's the difference. If you're just gonna vent, vent. But don't be making shit up.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. Void Fishers. You need them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury? A Fisher. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics. Use that reactant to open a relic. You are going to need more reactant if you want to open that relic. You're still in the clear. No detection from enemy sensors.
I was about to say I only need 2 more,
Open the relic.
and I watched
Finish
2
your
more
mission
drop in
and
front of
we'll
me.
take a look inside.
I was like, well, here's that.
I kind of dropped a party of like 15 of them.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
Just fell off the map there.
You need a range build on Mesa.
Hey, still a prime, nice. At least there was one that I didn't need.
I think that they steal the prime set sells for a decent amount.
Another job well executed.
There we go. Now we all got them challenges.
And I'm at like 500 void traces.
Well, like 572.
Heck yeah. And I ranked up. Just unlocked the transmission color.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't done shit on this Nightwave.
What
What level are you on?
What are you
I'm
getting,
working
bro?
on 13 right now.
Oh, legit.
Yeah, I'm working on 10. 10.
Wow, really?
Oh, the fucking arbitration is Frost and Exteltra.
And right now I'm stuck because none of my weapons, armor, or warframe are actually leveling up very much, if at all.
Oh, we were talking about Nightwave.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
the
even
end
know.
of that stream. And I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, dude. It was fun. So if you walk up the ramp,
See you later.
No, I've
In your
got it,
orbiter
I got
tray?
it, I got it.
Alright.
Yeah, I just passed 1 with Nightwave. I don't know how to tell where you're at.
so you have Nora's choice cred.
Yeah.
So the next thing that you'll get is a color palette.
Yeah.
You should be able to see that in the top there.
Yeah.
If you keep scrolling all the way to the right, I am level 13. Or working on 13 right now. I don't have 13 unlocked.
So, be honest with you, Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm not in a good place right now. Mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yeah. I could gather a little bit of that.
This says I'm at 8 of 10 relics. So I gotta do 2 more. And then I'll get the palette. On top of that, because there's a lot of gray areas going on, because there's a lot of only seeing things from one side versus seeing things from my perspective. I don't know what is being perceived as incorrect or not, which is why I didn't comment further.
Right.
It's time for Nora.
That
to
being
say
said,
goodnight.
like, I don't know what is or is not perceived as the right thing versus what is accurate and what is not accurate. But when I say I don't trust somebody, it takes a lot to come to that point, and
The Grenier have no honor.
Void fissures.
Yeah.
You need them to open
I get
a
that.
relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury?
You remember you're alive right now?
Or near a
Yep.
fissure. Use that reactant to open a relic. The reactant is
oh, I know
working
I'm
on
live
your
right now.
relic. Find more.
Okay.
just I want to get to a point to where I don't have to worry about what's gonna happen next in my life. Where am I gonna go? You know, where am I gonna fucking sleep? You ever had that problem, Jordan?
Never had to worry about where I'm going to sleep other than, of course, you know, military shenanigans.
Yeah.
But
Because it's coming to the point here where I don't know.
That's it.
I don't
You've
know
opened
what
the
I should
relic.
do, and I don't know how I
Finish your
should
mission
approach
and
it.
we'll take a look inside.
Because obviously, as I told you yesterday, I haven't paid rent in like 2 months, and everything that goes with that. Not on purpose either. I just don't have a job, so.
right.
And
Watch
it's
yourself.
basically
Grenier
turned
are
my
on the
whole.
way.
It's basically turned my whole reasoning for being in Texas upside down. To the extent
The enemy
of,
is broken.
like,
Well done.
even my dad
We'll
has
get
been
to extraction.
encouraging me to move to like another state. I'm like, really? This is my home. You're my dad. You want me to move out of state. By that note, if I leave, I won't come back. And I meant that when I said that.
Yeah.
Like, not even to visit family. Like, I didn't want it to have to come down to that, but I'm at 10. What are you at?
I'm at 10.
Alright.
Coming.
I just didn't think my life would get to a point to where... So when I was staying with my grandma, she was nice enough to let me stay there, obviously. But when while I was staying there, I wasn't really doing much to help out around the house. Wasn't doing dishes, taking out the trash, much of anything.
Mission complete.
I would only do
Excellent
things
work,
when she would
fellow.
ask. Most of my day was taken up by either looking for a job or, to be honest with you, playing video games. And anything other than that was... like... I don't know, I just felt defeated at the fact that I was unable to live my life normally.
Yeah.
So then I moved into my dad's house after like 3 months of that. My grandma was like, no, I can't handle this anymore. And I kind of did the same thing. And after searching for a job and searching for a job for God knows how long, I want to say almost 2 months, my dad got me a job with the company he works for. But he only got me a temporary position, which means it would only last for so long.
Mm-hmm.
If I had stayed with that company, that position would have ended in October anyways. So I left in August. And as I told you, I lost my job and everything else transpired. I already told you all that. Are you watching my stream?
I am.
Ah. After that, I just felt like I failed. Like, once I got that job from my dad, I just felt like I failed. Even though I was out of my dad's house, I was living on my own. I was living with my cousin. you know, everything was fine and dandy, but I felt like I failed because I knew it was going to end. There was no longevity to it. There was no way to say, oh yeah, I can just keep this up forever. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you join the military, you know it's going to end at some point. Not everybody knows when that's going to be, but you know it's going to end. You know it's not forever. That's how I felt with that job. I just felt like no matter how long I was there, it didn't matter.
Mm.
On top of that, I felt like the entire job was meaningless. I was just sitting there doing something for somebody else that I didn't even know. And I never really saw any fruits of my labor, never had anything important ever going on.
I got a story for you. But before I tell you the story, I need to pee. So I'll be right back.
If there is a God, I ask you to help me see what other people see. And I ask you to help other people see what I see and how I feel. Because I cannot.
Okay. So, let me tell you a story. You there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You wanna go ahead and start the next mission?
Sure.
Always a pleasure. It's time for Nora to say goodnight.
Alright. Tell me your story.
So in regards to feeling like a failure and like you're working a dead-end job, you of course remember my aspirations for the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I joined was my dream to be a pilot. But after time has gone on, and life has adapted and changed, and things have changed, life has changed, I have decided that with those changes, my priorities have changed. Having family or just different workflow or just the things that I've gone through, I've decided different things are more important to me. What I've realized is the workflow that is required out of me in order to be a pilot will take so much out of family time that it isn't worth it to me to be paid that much. Now, the part that I'm at now is the feeling that the steps that I've taken, the thousands of dollars and years that I've spent in pursuit of this career goal have been an absolute waste of time.
Have no honor.
Void fissures. You need them to open a relic, but are you confident you can
So my
withstand
time in the military has come to an end with me having absolutely nothing to show for it. I know I'm not alone in this fact, where many people are able to relate with that statement alone, but me having such high expectations for myself, I wasn't able to meet them, even in a little bit. I know I have to have a certain level of like, yeah, I know, I didn't fail, I didn't get a dishonorable discharge or anything like that. You know, I'm getting an honorable discharge, and I've got some other benefits and experience that I'm able to call for, but I still feel like I failed. I feel like an absolute failure because of the expectation that I had for myself. If you ask anybody else, my parents, my grandparents, my friends and family, they all consider me like a complete success. But the perspective and expectation that I had for myself is failure. So, I'm saying this with a statement of a little bit of hindsight here, of I'm having to look back and be like, I did have to readjust my perspective of myself and my career. Because these past 6 years haven't been an absolute waste. I have learned so much these past 6 years. And just experience and opportunity and the ability to have a somewhat stress-free lifestyle, you know, not having to worry about where my next meal was going to be coming from, or not worrying about making rent or anything like that. The military really does hook you up in that instance. You never worry or question. Unless if you overdo yourself in debt, of course. I've seen that happen.
Which I did.
Right.
I did that before I ever even met you, so. But since I left the military, I don't want to say I haven't acquired any more debt, because I did. But once I made the decision that I will not acquire any more debt, I've tried like hell to not acquire any more debt, and yet somehow, even though I'm not in debt with like a major corporation or something where it can negatively affect my life, I'm still in debt with like my cousin.
Dreamers.
Yeah.
There just is
So even by that aspect, I'm still
you all back.
just constantly walking backwards.
Another job well executed.
So here's where my expectation had to change, right? It wasn't just as simple of like, I had to lower my expectations. Is that my mindset had to be changed. Of like, what am I really driving for? If that makes sense. What's pushing me? What's driving me? What had been pushing and driving me was the mentality and mindset of just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I'll be happy with just a little bit more. When really, I'm never going to tell somebody to settle, right? Continue to push and drive yourself. Motivate yourself. Strive for better things. But if that striving and that motivation is motivation towards something that is futile and meaningless, and or, for my instance, takes away time from family, it is not worth it. It is just straight up not worth it. I gotta turn down the the volume because I'm hearing my echo and it's messing me up. So yes, motivate yourself, drive yourself, push to be a better person. But ultimately, what is more important is the people that you're around. Who cares if you have a ton of money and you're able to have nice things if you're not able to enjoy your experience with people around you? So that changed my whole thing of like, okay, what's more enjoyable? Monetary, valuable things, just having things in general, or being able to have things with people? Like, what good are those things if they're not able to be enjoyed with somebody? So my drive and my motivation has changed and altered where I'm like, okay, now I'm investing less in financial gain, and now I'm investing in people that are around me. And what that really drove me towards was like, you know, I am sick and tired of taking 2 to 3 weeks a year to go home and see my family. I want to be with my family on a regular basis. I want to be able to invest in them. I want to be able to hang out with them. I want my kids to grow up with their grandparents and their cousins. And I'm sick and tired of investing in somewhat fleeting relationships that aren't going to go anywhere, because the only expectation that the military has, just for my instance, is that I'm going to move away and they're going to basically evaporate. I would much rather put myself in a position where I can invest in other human beings that want to invest in me. What does that look like for each and every individual person? Figure that out for your own situation. But for me, I need to be with my family. For somebody else, they may have a toxic family. I don't know. I don't know your situation. I'm not talking to you, Trey. I'm just talking in general. Be able to read your situation and know where you need to be and know where you actually need to invest. Stop worrying about how much money you make and just survive and just make enough money to live your life and love people. The more money I make, to me at this point, means that I'm able to love somebody else. I'm able to spend more time to hang out with somebody else. The more money I make, it means the less time I need to work, is really what it comes down to. But the more and more humanity keeps driving for more and more money, the less time we're spending with each other, and the more time that's actually wasted. Now that you've got all this money, like, good job, you've got a cool boat and nobody to ride it with. What we've been chasing this entire time, this rat race, is an absolute waste of time. And it's literally corporations twisting our minds, telling us that we need to spend more money because it helps the rich get richer. Like, no. Just live your life and invest in the people that are around you. Make a livable wage. Work a 9 to 5. Work a 9 to 5, go home. I mean, that's where I am at this point. I want to work an almost monotonous job and be able to go home, see my friends and family, and be able to invest in them. Have the weekends off. my ongoing statement that I've been here in the military that like has been developing over the time of like at first it started as a joke, but now I'm serious. The statement more or less goes along the lines of I don't get paid enough to do that. It started as a joke of like, yeah, that's funny, I don't get paid enough to do that. Now it's come down to the instance of, okay, you're going to stay late to do this, and I'm like, I don't get paid enough to take time away from my family. That's not for every instance of like, of course the military needs to stay late in order to get the mission done because it's important, blah 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 blah. And I'm not gonna deny that. But when it's something minuscule and almost stupid, and it's like something that can like, it's something that can easily be done the beginning of the next work week, I'm like, no, I don't get paid enough. None of my guys get paid enough to handle that level of stupidity. We're gonna go home and we're gonna live our lives. I don't live and survive in order to make it to the next duty day. I work so that I can survive and live.
That's what I feel like right now, Jordan. I feel like all I'm doing is just working to survive. That's it. And any of the work that I do, I feel like it's just enough to survive. It's just enough to get by. I don't take trips to go see my friends in other states or even just 2 hours down the road because I can't afford it. I don't have the extra money or the extra income to do it. I've been trying to pay off debt and trying to get rid of all this extra burden I have so that I can. And then one day, one bad decision after another just turned my whole world upside down. And then the debt started piling up faster than the income. And now I'm working every side job I can for every person I can until I find a job that can actually start producing enough revenue to take care of that. Sure, I could work a 9 to 5. Sure, I could work overtime. But is it really gonna fix anything?
Define fix anything. It's a rhetorical question because I don't expect you to be able to define what it's fixing with your mindset. What it will fix is eventually it'll fix your debt once that's cleared away. And then you can live a debt-free lifestyle or you don't feel like you're chasing the next nut that's been dropped from the tree. You know, the next ambition that requires a huge financial burden. You can simply live debt-free and be able to invest in the people around you. There's other things that we can do to have financial investments where there will be a return in order for us to feel like we have more income. You know what I mean? So like for some person it may look like they're going to invest in a certain company or making your own company or simply being a worker or being some form of manager. You're investing time or you're investing money with the expectation of return. But if that investment of money or time if you look at it the form of a pie chart, if that starts to overtake and basically fill up the entire pie or the majority of the pie, what is it fixing? Nothing. So in that instance, you're correct. But if you change your mindset and be like, okay, this portion of the pie is unnecessary, this portion of the pie is unnecessary, completely clean that pie out. So now that you have a quarter to, 40, 50% of the pie open at this point, you're like, oh, what can I fill this with? I can now fill this with free time or of either spending with friends, family, or now I can use it to invest into a position, a financial position that I actually want to be in. If somebody has an aspiration to do a specific career, now that 50% of the pie is available for pursuing that. But in the meantime, a mindset change needs to happen. Driving around base and seeing the entire base filled with Mustangs and Camaros is like, all I see is a bunch of people that are consumed by the rat race of like, oh, I need this to feel good about myself. And I see a bunch of people that are unmotivated and don't actually want to um invest in something more meaningful than just having a status. Because having a Camaro or a Mustang is just a status thing.
Yeah.
So I would say put yourself in a position that allows you to have free time and then be wise and manage that free time. And then have good motivations with that free time. Don't use that free time to um completely invest back into I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this free time to make more money. It's like, oh okay, you missed it. You missed what I just said. Making more money is going to lead you to wanting to make more money. And then when you make more money, you're going to want to make more money. And then when you make all of the money, you're just depressed because now you don't have anything else to drive for because your entire life has been wasted on making money. Or you can invest in the road traveled, take a slower route, a slower path and be like just chill, relax and enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. You don't get paid enough to not enjoy the ride. Is really what that statement has developed into.
I'm not understanding.
What?
You're wanting me to invest my time better.
No, it's not necessarily that. I'm saying a statement that is just a um like I'm not trying to personally convict you on anything. I'm just saying in general, stop stressing about, ooh, I need to make more money.
It's not about making more money at this point. It's about just making money. Just being able to get money. There's a difference between not making enough and not making anything.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not trying to lower your expectations in any manner. Um, but there's also temporary places that you could work at. Um, I don't want it to sound like a complete compromise of your expectations, if that makes sense. Um, but I know for a fact that there are a ton of places that are hiring. But you have an expectation for yourself, much as I had an expectation of like, I will make pilot. And I feel like an absolute failure having not hit that. And now I'm reorganizing my thought process of like, okay, it wasn't a pilot slot that I wanted necessarily. It was financial freedom for my family. I'm saying that you need to reorganize your thought process and figure out what is most important to you. And along that path, I understand that making money in and of itself is important. But the people along the path that either oppose you or help you on this path or are just neutral, how are they treated? You can either learn from them, grow from them, either because they are abrasion in your life. There are people that are working against you. They're abrasive. It's still going to be something that um, grows you.
And right now, the people that are, I don't want to say trying to help me, but I guess the people that are here don't seem like they're trying. It doesn't.
That's fair.
It doesn't seem to me like they're being. I don't know how to describe it. It seems to me like they're being more abrasive than they are helpful.
And sometimes in life, it's like that. And I know in a personal perspective, it seems like there's nothing that you can do to get around that fact. But life does change.
Because
New people are put in your path on your road, um, or those same people's perspectives are also changed. But for the time being, the only thing that you can be expected to do is to learn from the people that you're around.
what a, but
So even if the only people in your life are being incredibly abrasive or being incredibly resistant, what is what it feels like, um, is exactly what is used in order to grow muscle. The only way muscle is able to grow is if it has resistance. So if you have resistance, then you're growing in mass. You're able to therefore lift heavier weight. So even if these people are fighting against you, does that mean, therefore, that you have an absolute hatred towards the weight, the barbell, the squat rack? I hate you. I don't trust you because you put weight against me. You're resisting my path. No, you can still be like, I hate the situation. The burn sucks, but I'm gonna grow from this. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn how to be understanding. And then when those people that are put in your path that do want to assist you, it's going to be like an escalator, something that's going to lift you up. It's going to keep pushing you in the right direction, but it's going to feel a lot easier in that essence. It's helping you along. Whereas some things are preparing you for a race, other things are pushing you in the race for you to take a break. Either way, use each situation to its fullest potential and respect the weight and resistances that comes against you. You don't get paid enough to go uh, hate people because other people are having their own situations. It would be very easy for me to just point blank go and hate on so many people right now because of how much resistance they've had against me. I've got coworkers right now. It would be very easy for me to just absolutely hate on them, despise on them, and just distance myself or be abrasive against them. When in all essence, they're teaching me something, not on purpose, but they're teaching me something. And in return, I can teach them something as well, as far as being accepting, being loving, it's being a decent human being. Because maybe they can go and they can be the escalator for somebody else at some point. All I can really hope to be is that I am the escalator for somebody at some point. And that by me being an escalator, they will in turn be an escalator. But don't get too weighed down by the times that you have weight and other people resisting you. Because those times go away. They may be longer than other people have to deal with, or they may come at different times in life than other people, but they all go away.
Hmm.
And then surround yourself with people with like minds.
So how would I know if I'm the one being abrasive? How would I know if I'm the one being in the wrong?
That, my friend, is called wisdom. The difference between knowledge and wisdom is that knowledge is you have the information. Wisdom means you know what to do with the information now that you have it.
Is every day I'm faced with the decision of, okay, am I truly the cause of all this? Am I the one that truly got to this point where I put myself here and I have no right to complain because I'm the only one who did this to myself?
I am not going to answer that question. I'm going to tell you to use wisdom and make that decision for yourself. Have you done it to yourself, and do you have the power to get it out?
Are you asking me directly or is this rhetorical again?
Rhetorical. Or just questions that you need to answer yourself.
I don't know to the first one and yes to the second one.
A big mentality right now is in America is the pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality. When that isn't always necessary. You don't have to do that. You have tons of people that are here to support you. Your grandparents, your parents, your cousin, for you specifically. You don't have to pull yourself up. You have other people helping you. You have escalators in your life right now.
So I'm gonna stop you there. My cousin and my grandparents, I do not feel as if they are supporting me when it comes to mental support, emotional support. Because I feel like they're expecting more from me. And what they're expecting and what I'm delivering are two different things. Same thing with my parents. What they're expecting and what I'm delivering are two different things.
It's hard to work around with a conditional relationship. I'll love you on the conditions of this, which is hard, but at the same time, you have to understand the duality of you have the same thing for other people. Everybody has some form of conditions. I'll love you on the conditions of fill in the blank.
Hmm.
Whether you'll, I'll just give some like married
Because
examples of like whether you'll
regardless,
take out the trash,
right,
do the dishes. I'll
and
love you on these conditions.
right, and I understand that, but in regardless of the situation and how they personally feel towards me, which they may not, I don't know. I don't feel like that's true. Because on one hand, it's I love you regardless, but on the other hand, it's like quit fucking up all the time.
Yeah.
And when you constantly get that back and forth on a daily basis, it makes it very difficult to believe one while having the other.
Right.
So it puts me in this constant emotional roller coaster of just this negative downward spiral of not even wanting to do anything, including finding a job. So even through all of that negativity and bullshit, I'm still pushing through trying to find a job. And for those of you watching my stream, yes, I am still trying to find a job while on pause. I don't emotionally feel right. I haven't been to the gym in months because I don't want to go. You know me, I love going to the gym.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with the fact that it makes me feel better or I like to work out. I'm just so emotionally drained. I was supposed to drive over there like 2 months ago to go cancel my subscription. I just haven't even done it. I tried doing it over the phone and they're like, yeah, you need to come in and talk with us before you can cancel. And I'm like, why? Why do I need to be there to cancel my subscription? I'm trying to cancel it because I haven't been there. Anyone with a brain would understand that one. As of right now, I don't know when my next paycheck's going to be, nor how much it's going to be. I know I've got money coming in from the military, from this last time, and it was at drill. I know I've got money coming in from my dad from working for him for this last week. But that's not a job. I can't live off of my dad. I just want to know that I don't have to worry about my own family.
Hmm. the story of creation and scripture is a story of restoration. What do I mean by that? God has slowly but surely been restoring communication with him and with his people, his creation. At first, in the beginning, with Adam and Eve, we have the fall of man, is what it's called. Where basically man, because of their sin, because of their inability to be perfect, broke communication with God. Because if you go back and you read it, they wanted to be perfect. Their pride is what separated. They chose separation. God never had any desire for that. So what he is slowly but surely doing has been restoring communication. Once communication was completely severed with Adam and Eve, he had examples of it being brought back slowly but surely, where he would present himself to his people with things like through the prophets. Prophets are simply people that were intercessors. They were people that were able to talk to God and bring messages from God to the people, and from the people back to God. He was a middleman, basically. That's what prophets were. But they were regarded very highly because of the fact that they had the word of God. They were their only communication between humanity and God. Eventually, he slowly restored it a little bit more by bringing in the temple. It was a fleeting, minuscule example of restoring communication, but it was still an example. It was an example of a picture of something that was going to be better to come. What the temple was an example of was God residing with humanity. Because what was in the temple was what was considered or called the Holy of Holies, which is where God resided. I don't know if you know much of the Holy of Holies, but it was completely guarded off, curtained off, and the priests, the high priest that would go in there once a year in order to commune with God, had to go through some form of purification process in order to go in there. Because humanity cannot be in the presence of God, because if there's any form of imperfection in the presence of perfection, the imperfection gets cleansed. It's like bacteria in hand sanitizer. It just gets cleansed.
Yeah.
So they had to go through some purification before they went into the Holy of Holies. And if they didn't do it correctly, or they went in with ill intentions, they would quite literally drop dead. And in order to fight back that issue, they would literally walk in with bells strapped to them and a rope tied around their waist. And as soon as the people on the other side of the curtain heard ding 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 ding, they would literally pull them out by a rope, because they're like, oh shoot, they weren't clean enough and they died. That was not at all what God wanted to happen. He still has a better form of communication in mind. Now, what was all of this pointing towards was this was all Old Testament stuff. This was all a covenant made in the time of Abraham and of Moses, of like, this is a promise that I'm making to you, of that there's something better coming. And he opened up more of the details to the prophets throughout the time. Now, what was that covenant? We'll get to that covenant in just a minute, but how the covenant was made was Abraham, I believe it was Abraham, was told to cut some animals in half and basically make a bloody aisle, like a hallway almost. And two halves of the animals, there was a handful of animals that he was told to cut in half and set them on either side and basically make a pathway. Now, this was used in a few other instances by just humans in general, but the example for it was that two people were supposed to meet in the middle of this aisle, shake hands and say that we are making a promise. Should either of us break this promise, that person is going to die. That is the conditions of our promise. Keep the promise or die. The issue is that when he was waiting for God to show up, he fell asleep on one side of the aisle. And he woke up to God waking him up. He had passed through the entire aisle, standing, hovering over him, with his promise saying that, you see this? You see what I've done? I've passed through, meaning you don't have to meet me in the middle. Despite what you are going to do, I will keep my promise. That is unconditional love. Another promise that he made to Noah was, at the end of it, I will never again destroy humanity. And the example that he gave was the rainbow, right? The
So,
rainbow isn't just...
Let me
What's
let
up?
me pause you here. So the only way, the best way I can relate to that story right now is I don't know when it's going to be, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but at some point in time, hopefully in the near future, I want to be able to pay my cousin back in full and be able to say, hey, because you have done so much for me, I want to return to you what you have done for me.
Sure.
And I know that's
Repayment of debt is a good thing.
and I know that's not going to take a long time, and I know that's probably going to take longer than I expect it to, but that's the goal. That's the overall goal here. Go ahead. You were talking about a rainbow.
Yep. Now with the rainbow, it wasn't just a rainbow or an example or just like, I'm just going to use this as an example of I'm not going to destroy people. He was saying, not only am I not going to destroy humanity again, this is an example of a war a war bow, or a recurve bow, or a long bow, or whatever you will.
A warbow.
It is pointed in a certain direction. I don't know if you've ever heard of what it looks like to see a rainbow from outer space,
It looks
but it
like
makes
it's a circle.
it's a circle, or the head of an arrow. God said that not only will I not destroy humanity, but I will take the fall. He said, I will take the punishment, and I will take that destruction. And then what he said with Abraham was, despite what you do, even if you don't carry your end of the bargain, I will die. And then in that restoration story of continuing with the prophets and in the temple saying, this still isn't good enough, this still isn't good enough, I have more, I have a better plan for you. Then of course he brings his only begotten son. Jesus came to earth, and he was what was prophesied, for lack of a better term. He was what they were all pointing towards. All of the examples were pointing towards. He was what the warbow was pointing at. He was the fulfillment of the promise with Abraham, saying, "You will take God said that I will take the fall." That was Jesus, saying that humanity was not good enough, They did not hold up their end of the bargain. They were very evil, continuously evil. But I'm still going to hold up my end of the bargain. I'm still going to fulfill my promises to you, and I am going to die. And then as he died and as he said it is finished, the veil in the temple was torn from top to bottom. The thing that was supposed to be separating the Holy of Holies with the rest of the world was torn from top to bottom. So now everybody can look and see the Holy of Holies. Meaning just another example of the restoration story coming into fruition slowly but surely. Then what he said was that I will rebuild a temple. Rebuilding a temple, if we think of it logically, was more or less a place of worship for the Holy Spirit to reside, right? For the presence of God to be with his people. He tells his disciples, he tells his apostles, I will give you the Holy Spirit. Meaning we aren't waiting for a temple to be rebuilt. The temple's been rebuilt. The Holy of Holies has been established. The Holy Spirit is residing in each and every person that repents of all of their humanity and all of their conditional love, all of their hatred. Repentance meaning saying, I am disgusted by my human actions and saying, I don't want to live like that anymore. Not only that, but I want to be able to have the capacity to love like you. And I want to love like you more and more, slowly but surely, every single day. The Holy Spirit resides in each and every Christian, each and every believer that has repented. That does not mean that the restoration is complete yet, because God still is not quite finished with his restoration. He is not quite residing perfectly hand in hand with his creation yet. Because when Jesus left, he said, I again will return one day. Meaning that Christians nowadays still have a hope for our Creator to return one day and to establish his actual presence with his people. So with all of that being said, what do we do in the meantime? We go and we tell other people this truth. And we go and we love unconditionally to every other human being, because every other human being is just as undeserving of this truth, just as undeserving as I was. Understanding that unconditional love isn't attainable, but should still be bestowed upon. Because every human desires unconditional love, but they aren't going to attain it unless if they run into a Christian, because that Christian is simply reflecting, even if in some small capacity, they're reflecting their Creator. So with that being said, my direction that I've all been going towards is have your heart and mind changed to that. Have a different expectation in that sense of who cares how much money you make? Just go and love. Just go love people.
Mhm.
Money is good. There isn't it is not evil inherently to wish to have more money in order to give it to somebody else or even to have nice things. It is not a bad thing. But if that is your only drive, then yes, that is evil. And it is fruitless and a waste of time and leads to depression. Have a better hope than just what money can bring. I know I kind of whipped out a sermon there, and I know it can be annoying sometimes, but I simply want better for you than just to be simply striving for the next monetary step in your life, the next financial step.
Hmm. So how do I go about that? How do I do that mindset change?
I don't mean to be um disrespectful, so don't be mad at me for asking this, but um just to help you come to the conclusion yourself, right? Who did I say has the capacity to understand that? There's only a select few people who are able to understand unconditional love, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did they have to do?
They had to
They had to what?
they had to purify themselves, cleanse themselves.
Mm, no. They had to repent of their unpurification. They understood that they're incapable of being pure.
Hmm.
The Greek word is Shema. Shema meaning hear what I'm saying, have a heart change based on what I've said, now have actions based on the heart change. What you just said was hear what I said, now obey. And I want to make sure that you don't have that misunderstanding. I want you to have a heart change based on what you heard. Because if you don't, then it'll be a complete waste of time.
Hmm.
Are you excited about the fact that your creator loves you unconditionally and has a plan for you in the future to restore communication with you?
Yeah. I mean, when you put it that way, I'm excited to be able to just walk up to him and say, hey, how do I fix this? What am I
Right.
doing wrong? Because I've tried to fix it myself and it doesn't work. I don't know how to fix it.
Let me tell you, our creator is just as excited for you to have a better things as well. Now, I'm not going to tell you that he promises you a better life, because he doesn't. Because you still have to live life. This isn't a prosperity gospel. You don't all of a sudden become a millionaire. Or even a thousandaire. Because of the fact that you are ready for him to return. He said this life right now, because of the fall of man, is living with the consequences of that fall. We're living outside of the blessings and goodness of our Creator. So life is going to be hard, is the only thing that he promises. But one day when our Creator returns, things will be better.
And that day scares the hell out of me.
Why does it scare you?
All the shit that I've done in my life.
Hmm.
I get turned to dust on the spot.
So, if this was a courtroom, basically what you're saying is you recognize that the only thing that you're due is judge hitting the hammer on the table saying guilty.
Yeah.
You're not alone. We're all there. Not diminishing the fact, because it is very much true. But I want you to understand that for every single person in his creation, he has offered the same extent of you are not worthy, you are guilty. But what he offers us is Jesus said, you are guilty, but despite what you do, the promise that he made to Abraham, the bow, the war bow, doesn't matter what you do, I'm taking the fall. Doesn't matter if you hold up your end of the bargain. I'm taking it. Now, if you're excited about that fact and grateful of that fact, then all you need to do is recognize the payment that's actually fully been made. You know how much debt you're due. Not physically, but like because of the actions that you've taken in your life, you know what is due is you being told that you're guilty. So you know how much debt is being paid off. And Jesus said, yo, I got that. That's mine. I'll pay your debt. Now what you need to do is be grateful for his offering to pay the debt. And say, I want to be able to live my life with the sole purpose now to be able to push that debt forgiveness program to everybody else because I want them to feel the same form of freedom. And I don't want to try to rack up any more debt, is the key behind that as well. He doesn't expect perfection, but willful sinning is denying that there was a forgiveness of debt in the first place.
So what's the difference between willful sinning and unintentional?
If you go into doing something of, I know this isn't the right thing to do, but I'm going to ask for forgiveness here in a little bit, that is willful sinning. on, dude. You can be in constant awareness at all times of being completely unworthy. But what God says, yes, you are unworthy, but you are not worthless.
So, is it wrong? Let me rephrase that. Is it willfully sinful to expect to want a job that that's harder to get, takes longer to get, has higher standards, and yeah.
I would say that's between you and God to determine.
Alright. Well. This conversation definitely got a lot deeper than I expected it to.
Yeah, but you know me. You've known me for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so often that you can bring up an issue before I take it deeper than you want it to go.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a good thing though. Because you bring up some very valid points.
I do what I can. It is not by my power, but he who works in me.
Hmm. Well, I should probably try and get some sleep.
Alright, dude.